This is Teed Up Weekly. You're listening to Season 4, Episode 8 of Teed Up, a podcast created and produced by Long Beach State's student-run newspaper, the Long Beach Current. We're here with you on your walk to class, giving you the banter you need to get through the week. I'm your host, Maddie G.
I'm Maddie C. Keep listening to hear more about Beach Weekly host Gianna Echeverria, the start of the NHL season, NBA tipping off, and breakdown of the latest in the NFL and the MLB.
Joining us today, Gianna.
Hello.
You mentioned you wanted to switch places with us.
Yes.
You're getting your wish.
Yeah.
You even took our side of the table.
Yeah, I did. Confident, happy to be here. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Grew up in a family, mostly men surrounding me, boy cousins, that competitive nature from being a kid. Always loved the way that sports kind of riles up a person. Excited to be here, excited to talk with y'all.
You think you're cut out for the job? We have a tough job here at Teed Up. We write scripts 45 minutes before filming.
Yep.
Put in a lot of effort
Really
to making sure we have the best content imaginable.
Really stressful to read ESPN every week, huh? I mean, gosh, like, what
Scrolling
a
Instagram
job.
for hours.
You think we use ESPN here?
Yeah, oh, my bad. So
to
sorry.
find corn stuff about sports, you got to get to the deep parts of the internet.
We're doing deep research. My fault. No, I'm sure it's easy to watch games and talk about them.
That's what people think. It's a lot harder than that.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get started. What are your favorite teams?
Okay, so let's just start strong. Starting with my boys, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Proud Dodger fan from birth. Dodger onesies, Dodger hats, Los Dodgers viva, ya tú sabes. Yeah, those are my guys for sure. Moving on to a more recent fanatic for me. Became an NFL fan pretty recently. My dad would tell you I'm a Rams fan. I'm here to tell you I'm a Packers fan. Due to the start of me watching NFL being the Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams impeccable team up over in Green Bay. NBA, sadly, I am a Lakers fan. Not feeling like much of a fan right now, but it's okay. I'm still here to support the Lakers. And then, yeah, everything else, LA Kings. Who else? Oh, soccer. I guess the only soccer we really pay attention to in our house is international. And I'm Argentine, so there's that. That's all I got to say. Los campeones del mundo. That's all.
I'm going to be honest. I don't really like your teams. The Packers are all right because you're not a Rams fan, but, you know.
All right.
If we're being honest,
it's kind of true.
Either of us like your, or you
I'm
like
a
the
Kings
Kings.
fan.
You like the Kings.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
there we go.
Born and raised.
They're not the Sharks, but
right. Okay.
But that's all right.
Okay.
So if Davante Adams gets traded to the Jets, are you switching teams?
I don't think so. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is producing anything like how he used to. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, I think, was arguably arguably the best quarterback when he was in his prime. In the time in the NFL. It was dynamic. It was electric. Them two. Davante is still, in my opinion, high ranked wide receiver. Unused asset in Las Vegas. Unused. I'd like to see him go to New York, but we all know how that coaching program's going over there. So I'm not sure going into a broken facility would be great for him. I don't know.
I'm hoping the Niners bring back his defensive coordinator because that's where he was before, but I don't think that's going to happen. He said he doesn't want to coach. But
Sad.
I will say I really enjoyed watching Aaron Rodgers in his prime as
Yeah.
a Niner fan. Those were some down years.
Yeah.
I mean, we always beat him in the playoffs, but
Unfortunately.
as a talent, he's very fun to watch. Went to Cal. Shout out to the
Calgary.
Cal. Oh,
Yep.
there we
We'll
go.
get into that
there we
later,
go. The
but,
algorithm. Yeah, I like that. Jaylen Brown, Jason Kidd. Yeah.
What are your favorite sports memories growing up?
Growing up, I neglected sports for sure. My parents put me on AYSO soccer, and I was doing cartwheels on the field. I was not trying to be there. But I will say, take it back to 2014 World Cup, Argentina and Germany in the final. I don't know if this is a favorite memory, but maybe one of the most perspective-changing memories. Mario Götze makes the game-ending goal in the 109th minute in overtime. My family didn't talk to each other for 6 months. I mean, lives ruined. But that instance really showed me what kind of passion people can have for sports, the true connection people feel with sports, the the pressure that literally was like placed upon us because of that. I can't say it's my favorite memory, but it's definitely like the most cemented memory.
Influential.
Yeah, absolutely. Like unforgettable moment. I mean, we were in this like pool clubhouse. I remember all my cousins, we were like in our bathing suits. Like, I remember the kit they were wearing, the dark blue with like the gold lettering, Messi with his longer hair. It was, yeah, I remember that day pretty vividly still.
Higuain will never walk through.
No.
Gonzalo.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, that was a good.
You said your family didn't talk?
Mm-hmm.
Are they like German
yeah,
and
we
Argentinian?
No, we're Argentine, yeah. So we're all Argentine. Everyone was just like in their depression era after that. Like we did not obviously like we communicated, but we were not chopping it the way we typically do. You know, the group chat was pretty silent. Was not many collective gatherings happening following that loss for sure. We were in our holes kind of recovering for a little bit.
Flash forward then to 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
Yeah, I have videos that riddle my camera roll with that. Lautaro, that team, those penalties. I mean, again, cemented in my mind. Can't get over Emiliano. I mean, the best goalkeeper to have on your side of the ball. Dibu, can't ever not give him his flowers. That guy, I mean, Golden Glove to the nth degree for sure. Yeah, I love that guy. That guy definitely my MVP for sure. Obviously love Messi, but I think it's the culture in Argentina. Obviously, as all international games play, I mean, I love watching the World Cup just because of fandoms. But yeah, I mean, we were all sitting in my Theo's living room. I remember what I was wearing. I remember what everyone was wearing. My hands on my mouth like this, watching that last goal go in. I don't even remember the moments following that. I remember kneeing my little cousin in the face, jumping from excitement. I remember my family linking arms. Dale campeón, jumping, screaming like it was a freaking party in our house. I mean, the cheers, the jeers. Yeah, it was awesome. We partied for weeks after.
Special memories for
yeah,
sure. For
absolutely.
I'd say probably like 7 of the top 10 days of my life all happened when my teams won championships.
Literally.
So, yeah.
Most memorable for sure. They stay in the brain.
So you're in your first semester here as a host of your own podcast. What have you learned sort of in your first few months?
I need to take more initiative, take more control on my podcast. This week I will be editing it. Sorry, Aiden. I will be taking control of that. But mostly, honestly, I've learned how vital it is to be like in touch with media and current events and like what's happening around us. I mean, I've become so well versed on just like news, how to talk about it, how to read it, how to research it, where to research it, how to get your unbiased information and how to present it that way as well. It's super cool. It's fun. Sometimes sad. Sometimes really sad to write the Beach Weekly script for sure. There's emotional things that we encounter, but I'm grateful to have the opportunity. It's a lot of fun. Hope I'm doing okay.
And it's important those things get covered, even though they are emotional and not as fun as some of the stuff we get to talk about
exactly.
here.
Exactly.
You're doing good things, but
thank you.
We've had emotional moments on our side too, bringing you on post Niners losing us.
Yeah.
Always fun.
Whew, can't
Catastrophic.
imagine.
You mentioned initiative.
Devastating.
I think your initiative's a lot funnier than ours. Saying
Okay.
you're going to start doing some editing. My
Yeah.
initiative's just yelling at Aiden to put in video into a podcast.
No, not me.
Yelling on the podcast.
No, I will be getting the
Messing
editing
up audio.
tutorial. I will be editing Beach Weekly here on forward. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be fun.
And then you want to work in sports media.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning?
I've kind of always knew I wanted to be like a TV personality. I wasn't sure. Like me and one of my best friends actually who goes to Cal State Long Beach, always talked about like a talk show, like a Daily Show vibe, like, you know, James Corden, what are those other guys? The Jimmys,
Yep.
Stuff like that. Like I've always loved that idea of just like chit-chatting with my friends. Obviously getting to do a podcast was super fun, but I think the sports media thing came kind of honestly just from like the really in 2020 is when I started like focusing into sports. There wasn't many things on TV that were live, but obviously games were still going on to the degree that they could have. Yeah, I don't know, something about like sideline reporting, like I want to be your next Aaron Andrews kind of a thing. So I think like that stuff is just like such a good way to get your foot in the door as far as like meeting people, creating new things. Like, yeah, I want to start with sideline reporting. Yeah, I want to be a broadcaster, maybe even like a Joy Taylor. But I think it goes further in the sense of like once I do become established in sports, I'd like to take it further and maybe do like Sports Illustrated columns on fashion, integrating women into sports and highlighting like opinions that aren't just from like a male point of view as well. You don't hear women's voices in sports often, and obviously that's changing for sure, but especially with like the awareness of women's sports now and the rise in like views and viewpoints in women's sports. But I definitely think that it's not done and there's a lot more integration that deserves to happen. And you know, I get the point of view that, you know, sometimes women aren't the most well versed, but I've done a lot. I'm a big sports fan, and I hate when my opinions are pushed aside just because of you know, gender.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have like diverse perspectives on everything.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think like being like as students in media, just in general, we have to like look at all viewpoints. And I think that's helped me a lot in sports media because I always like followed my own teams. But wanting to like grow my like knowledge in sports, I have to look at all the Bay teams also, and whether I want to or not. No, I've really expanded my like just conversation ability as far as like talking with like anyone.
I feel like immediately after we're gonna have to add you to our
the fantasy
group
sports chat.
It's
been very
heated,
tough in there.
I love
contentious.
to throw some heat as well.
It's about half Dodger fans, and then the other half are
just hate.
Dodger haters.
Yeah.
Myself being the biggest.
Oh,
I feel like I've come
Straight
for
to the
Junior
cam with
hard
that
in that
comment.
chat.
Yeah.
Chavez Ravine lines.
Yeah.
What are you saying about the ravine, Maddie?
What
What do you not like about it?
I call the Dodgers the worst fans in the sport. I stand by that a little bit. Junior said there's other fan bases that are worse, named Boston.
I'm kind of with him on there.
Said Boston might have a racist fan base.
Oh.
And I said, you play in the Chavez Ravine.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, at a
He's got a
certain
point. He's got a point.
You got an owner who's ready to displace people, and you're dancing for him.
Throwing balls at the players, too.
And Ken Rosenthal, we won't forget your words.
No. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Tatisa Peacock, that was unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Only calling out Latin players is...
The untamed peacock is a little... The untamed.
Obviously, it's not everyone. It's not everyone.
No, yeah.
There are good Dodger fans.
I mean,
my girlfriend's family's all Dodger fans.
Yeah. Okay.
I like them.
Yeah. Just right to the camera.
I do like them a lot. But
hopefully they're not watching. But yeah, no.
Let's move over.
Okay.
NHL. You've been talking about him all off season. Macklin Celebrini.
number 1 overall pick.
Worst first goal of all time.
Hey, a goal's a goal. It
You
counts
told
the
me
same.
earlier.
It counts the same. It's all 1 point.
This man
Okay.
told
1
me
point.
it was not
1
even a goal.
assist. 7 minutes into his NHL career.
Also
first
7
goal.
years old. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He is a spring chicken.
He's
a young guy.
one. Born in 2006, Macklin comes in the league.
That's kinda gross to
crazy.
hear.
That's a gross year. Sorry to any 06 heads out there.
He's gonna be in the league a long time.
Yeah.
He's got Draymond Green and some of the other Warriors in the stands. His dad works for the Warriors. I mean, it's a match
I
made
mean,
in
who
heaven.
doesn't want Draymond Green on their side?
Exactly. Bro, if Draymond Green could come to my podcast or our podcast, my bad. Or like, if he could just like come to like a Long Beach State men or any game and see me kind of like typing on my computer, that'd be really awesome.
You just want him to see
I'd love to be on the
Typing is
Draymond Green
crazy.
show.
Typing is a crazy thing.
Taking notes,
man. Yeah, no. I think I agree with you. Macklin's got longevity for sure. Looks good. Maybe not up to the caliber of the people he's playing with quite yet, but I think he'll be a long-lasting name for sure in the NHL.
The unfortunate part was we were winning 4-1 going into the third period, and then we lost 5-4 in overtime. But
Baby steps.
It's a development.
Yeah.
It's a development. I like what I see. The Shark Tank was sold out last night.
Ooh.
There's excitement
There we go.
in the Bay Area.
The Shark
so.
Tank. That's cool. I like that.
Maybe the Sharks will get a little more move now too, with Oakland gone, Bay Area sports are dwindling.
Yeah.
Bay Area sports are spreading thin.
All the real ones are staying there. The
That's
Niners, the
valid.
Giants, the Warriors,
Love.
all the other Bay Area teams.
You guys
Sorry.
can capitalize on the
But-
teams you have there. No need to rely on no Oakland athletics to get you guys through.
Relocation's been pretty tough for sports.
Yeah.
We got the Utah Hockey Club.
Ooh.
Losing out on the best jersey in sports, I think, with this move.
Coyotes.
The Kachina,
Yeah.
rest in peace.
Yeah.
Utah Hockey Club shouldn't exist. I'm going
Right.
to stand by it.
Okay.
I think the uniform currently as it stands is terrible.
I agree strongly
Just
with that.
throw a name on there. It's
yeah,
not that
I mean,
hard.
what do we like? I don't understand why we're avoiding naming.
Well, they have a name, I think, pretty much, more or less. Like, it's going to be the
Utah
Yeti.
Yeti?
It's going to be the Yeti.
Okay.
I like the Yeti or the Mammoth. I feel like those aren't bad. I like the Yeti though.
Yeah.
It sounds better, Utah Yeti.
But you got
It's
the
gonna be like
Yeti now and
sponsorship.
the Avalanche.
I'm
It's
just waiting for them to
kinda-
get, like, a Yeti sponsor on the helmet.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Mhm. You know what's
that's a
going to
good
happen.
marketing call.
It's 100% going to be a thing.
Yetis, Utah Yetis with Yetis in their hands in
But
the stadiums. That's good. Sorry, continue.
They've started hot.
yeah,
2-0.
yeah, 2-0.
They
2-0.
offer one of the best seats in sports.
Looking
Have you guys
good.
seen the corner seat at their stadium?
No.
Can't see it.
Mhm.
Can't see it, right?
No, you
It's,
can. It hangs
obstructed?
over the ice. The corner seat at the Utah Hockey Club stadium hangs over the ice.
I
think
love
it's the
that.
Jazz's stadium,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I was there
they're
for
in
March
Salt Lake.
Madness. We got whooped.
Ooh. You were there,
Good
though.
memories.
You were there.
Yep.
No, that's crazy.
The
Yeah,
Delta
no.
Center.
I'm excited for I think literally just based on weather, it's a better place for a hockey team to be, in my opinion. I'm happy that Utah has something else besides the Jazz to look forward to.
It's an interesting
Speaking
point.
of fan bases in Utah, we talked about some of the. I'm not gonna go in further, but
Yeah,
they've had some questionable storylines about some of
Yeah.
their fans
that's okay. We could keep that there.
in the NBA, particularly. I
Particularly.
can't say that word.
It's okay. I got you.
Yeah, some players don't really like those fans,
No.
to say the least.
And then going back local, we got
yeah.
the Kings.
Woohoo. Go Kings, go.
Couple additions this offseason. We
Yeah.
got Tanner Janot, Warren Fogle, Joel Edmondson, Kyle
Yeah.
Burrows.
Right.
I think the main headline really is Doughty going on to LTIR to start the year. This is a controversial take for me as a Kings fan. I don't like Drew Doughty anymore.
Okay.
I've been over Drew Doughty for years. I know he
Okay.
had a bounce back year last year.
Yeah,
and I
a
do
little.
think he's a player who loves competition.
Yeah,
When the team's
absolutely.
good, he plays good. When the team's bad, he plays bad.
I doubled down on that for sure.
But at this point, like, hang them up.
Mm.
Like, you're on LTIR. Most people who follow hockey realize LTIR is just where players go to die. Like, that contract is eventually just going to be there. Most players
Fizzling
end up
out.
retiring.
Yeah, I think Doughty did what he needed to do for LA. I don't think he has to prove anything else. I think
Exactly.
Yeah, like
He was on
Doughty
those
did
teams
his
that won
numbers.
the
He won the
Cups,
2
right?
cups.
Yeah, Doughty did his time.
He's
Doughty
old.
got to play alongside legend Anze. I just don't think that. I agree. I think
Yeah.
that obviously Doughty's given what he needs to give to LA. I don't need any more from Doughty as
Exactly.
a Kings fan.
I mean-
I'm happy with what he provided to us. Let the new era come in.
He's a legend in his own right. He's going to get a
Absolutely.
banner. He'll have a retired number.
That'll be up. Yeah,
He's
that'll be up.
arguably the best defenseman in franchise history.
For sure.
Outside of maybe Rob Blake.
Yeah,
I think he's probably clearing even Rob Blake. And now you have Brent Clark. So
yeah,
just move on.
yeah. I agree. Let's lay it down to rest.
I do think the Kings will miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
they're as good as people put them out to be.
I think the Kings, I mean, again, being an LA team, I feel like we all have the expectation wanting them to win. But yeah, I don't know. There's too many viable contenders that, in my opinion, absolutely clown on the Kings. I mean, like even last year's Cup champions, the Panthers, even the Preds, I think like easily throw out the Kings, and they're just, I don't know. Everyone at the top of the NHL is at the top, and it's kind of distinct. And the ones that aren't are fighting to get there, and it's not much movement. Like, I just feel like those teams have kind of, I don't know, they've solidified their W's, if you will.
Mhm. I feel like this is tough to hear for like newer Kings fans and like Kings fans the last 10 years. I followed them since I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
This franchise isn't good.
Mm,
Like, they have a history of being bad, history
Yeah.
of losing, regardless of being in the LA market.
right.
Even when they had Gretzky,
Yeah.
they didn't win.
Mm-mm.
Made it to like one final, but
Right.
we're probably in for a period of suck.
Yeah,
Get some picks.
It's okay.
Kopitar had a good run.
Right. Absolutely.
I would love for him to get one more. I mean,
Yeah.
hat trick to start the season, but
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot more retirements and banners and maybe Hall of Fame inductions before we see
Another
divisions and
Stanley
Stanley
Cup.
Cups.
I agree. I'm going to agree with that. Yeah. Like you said, like we were talking about Doughty earlier, I think Kopitar did his time for us too. I'm not sitting here as a fan in the stands being like, I need Kopitar to make this, or else like, and unfortunately that is the script that LA Kings fans are following right now, and we can't really be relying on grouchy old Kopitar to get us anywhere really far. Unfortunately, yeah, there might be a few down years for the Kings, but that's okay. That's okay. Hockey's young and vibrant, and it'll keep going that way, and those guys will get their flowers.
Speaking of hockey being young and vibrant, changing of the guard. I don't know. First female head coach or female coach for the Seattle Kraken. Talk about that a little.
Yeah, Jessica
what it
Campbell.
means for the sport of hockey.
I think honestly, like women in sports, obviously anywhere is a good step for sure, especially on coaching team or on coaching staffs. Like it's hard for women to talk about sports in general, but for men to trust women with their sports is much harder. And Campbell brings a different energy to that team. I feel like obviously just being assistant coach, it's not like all the game plays are really necessarily decided by her, but even just seeing her on that, or like
representation.
Yeah, just the representation.
Sideline.
I mean, she's standing there
in a leadership role.
She looks like she's ready to kick some booty, and like she's ready. She's not there to like play around. Like she's serious. She knows her stuff. She has a silver medal with Canada, played hockey for a really long time, coached in the AHL. Like she definitely deserves the spot. And I think hockey is a sport that's really seen as kind of masculine because of its like, you know, just the violence, that you know, the straightforwardness, the violence, the speed of it all. I feel like maybe don't always bring in a woman kind of demographic as far as even viewership goes. So I think it's a really cool step to see a woman finally in position of power in NHL specifically is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it builds on what the Giants did, right?
Yeah.
Listen, Atkin.
There you go. Exactly.
Switching from the rink to the hardwood.
Woo.
Before we get into your Lakers, 'cause
Yeah.
I got my questions about that. Obviously, the Knicks traded for Karl-Anthony Towns a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But did you see who was on the court for them a couple nights ago at their celebrity game?
No.
3 guys in specific.
No, I did not.
They had the Rizzler,
Big Justice.
Big Justice,
Big Justice.
Big
was there?
AJ.
Really?
All three
All three on the
of
court.
the Costco verse.
That's crazy.
Let's get a boom.
Boom!
That's crazy. Big Justice was there.
Big Justice.
Okay, we've seen what Grimace did for New York, and that's all I gotta say.
It was a
I
celebrity
could see the
game.
Knicks going to the finals this
It was
year,
a celebrity
honestly.
game, though.
Yeah, but they were in the Garden. That's all they needed
Exactly.
was Grimace to
I
be
need a
at City,
Rizzler,
and they.
a Rizzler jersey.
Oh,
That
I'm not sure I can stand behind that, but I'll get a Big Justice Knicks jersey. I'm down with that.
you
You
gotta
can get a
Big
Rizzler
AJ
jersey.
one.
Big AJ.
Okay, yeah, you could do that.
You don't defend the Rizzler? He's making waves.
Yeah, okay.
He's got potential.
Barstool's trying to hire him. They talk about
Barstool
if they
tries to hire everyone.
They talk about breaking labor laws to get this kid in there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't fault a kid. Okay, so that's all I gotta say.
He's playing at Madison Square Garden, and then he's showing up to second grade the next morning.
Is he actually a second grader?
He's like 8
Probably.
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't fault a kid. I'm happy kids get the platform to express however they feel. And that's that.
keep living
Keep
your
it up,
dream.
Rizzler.
Yeah, keep it up. I like your stuff.
Oh, I'm screaming.
Going to the Lakers now.
I'm-
Gonna get your opinions on your second round draft pick this year. Bronny James, loser to Long Beach State last year. Yeah, that's right. Jadon Jones, Marcus Sahonis, in front of your dad, courtside. That's right.
Your dad.
How do you feel about the Lakers' second round pick?
Yeah.
Do you think there's some nepotism?
Do I think there's nepotism? I don't know. Does a bird fly? First of all, I don't even like the first LeBron James, so I can't even sit here and look at you and say that I'm going to like the second LeBron James as well.
I respect it.
LeBron has been in the league as long as I've been alive.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah,
he was
for both of
drafted in
us.
2003. literally months before I was born.
That's crazy.
Isn't that first of all, that's my first perspective. Every time I think about LeBron and his
Old
run,
head.
it's just
Unk.
obviously this was obviously just to get his last hurrah in, have his little boy next to him.
Take your son to work day. Every day.
Every day. It's obviously Bronny's not producing anything for the Lakers. I don't think he adds anything to the team that we didn't have before. I think he sits in the last bench seat, if that. Yeah, it's not exciting for Lakers fans.
I disagree. I think Bronny's going to add something to this team that we've never seen before. Clips.
Oh my God, yeah.
LeBron, I
Defensive
don't like
highlights.
basketball. LeBron is the funniest person in the league.
Yeah.
He's up there.
LeBron is definitely top memed NBA player.
Get
I feel
Bronny
like.
in the league with
The
them.
sunshine.
We're just gonna have
things are
endless.
just
Okay,
happen.
yeah. You know what? Let's change the narrative.
It's gonna be good for
Bronny
marketing.
brings content.
Yes.
Here we go.
He was in phase.
Yeah.
Like, we got a content creator already.
Yeah.
Now he's on the court.
Right. Thank
I
goodness.
could use that to push against LeBron's legacy. Say
Ooh.
there's content creators, streamers in the NBA.
Yeah.
Talk about Michael Jordan and plumbers. Talk about streamers in LeBron's era. But that's besides my point.
Yeah.
How do you think the Lakers overall this season expectations? I feel like they're honestly in the same kind of
Both.
category with the Warriors of our ceilings, kind of like the 6th seed. I don't think maybe like first round
Maybe.
series win, but
Yeah.
LeBron should have came to the Warriors. We should have drafted Bronny.
There were talks. There were
I
definitely
know.
talks. Y'all need a Clay replacement, but I think that. Yeah, I mean, maybe they go to the playoffs. Again, I'm not expecting anything big out of this Lakers team. I like. Man, yeah, I don't know. Our stars are old, and Austin Reeves is
Overrated.
sometimes producing. Yeah, overrated. D'Lo's good. There's connections sometimes there with him and Braun. But overall, no crazy high expectations for this Lakers team. I think the West is riddled with talent, and none of them are in LA.
We're too old, both our teams.
Yeah,
and
you got
the West is
some
getting
old heads,
younger
too.
and more talented.
Yeah.
You mentioned Draymond earlier.
Yes.
Get
Oh,
to
yes.
it.
Go.
He is 8 ejections away from breaking the all-time NBA ejection.
You think he
Record.
gets there this year?
I don't think he'll get it this year. I think he'll get like 6 maybe.
You don't think he'll get it this year?
How many years
No.
has
I
he
think
got
it's
left?
something he's going for at this point.
No, I think he'll definitely break it at some point, but I don't know if this year is the year. 8 in a season I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Draymond though. He's special. Sometimes not
Unique,
in the good ways.
perhaps. Yeah. Draymond Green definitely adds some.
We need a Draymond Green show teed up.
Yeah, I think
Podcast
Draymond
collab.
Green
Need it.
content is very, very valuable for sure.
I'm going to throw down one quick hot take about the NBA before we move on. Giannis Antetokounmpo will be a Warrior going into the 25-26 NBA season. Giannis and the Bucks have not won since 2021. They've gotten out of the first round once. I think this is the year. He's already won a championship in Milwaukee. Him and Steph are pretty decent friends. Dame, I mean, I don't think that really worked out last year. I feel like they're all getting older. I think this offseason or next offseason, Giannis comes to the Bay. Steph gets his 5th ring next year. They might win 5 or 6. So that's just want to throw that out there.
Okay,
so
thanks
we can
for
come
throwing
back
it out there.
in July of 2025.
We'll
but-
keep it out there.
Yep.
I think we'll keep it out there, though.
Something that is going to happen is we're going to get to the corn.
Oh.
Men's basketball held open tryouts a couple weeks ago. If that opportunity ever presents itself again, I got everyone the pointers where to get them. Go to CoachCorn.com to learn from Cornelius Holden, Louisville alum, 3-year starter, top 30 all-time scorer, number 3 all-time in blocks, NBA record 14-14 in field goals in one game. Get you Coach Corn. I don't know what he
Check it out, this
charges, but maybe the rates are cheap. It's worth a chance.
He's got quite the resume.
CoachCorn.com.
And you know how you know,
I wish
Caitlin?
I would have saw that a few weeks ago so I could have tried out. I could have walked on.
You see what I'm talking
I
about?
see this right here. Go.
You know how you know Caitlin Clark is famous? She got her very own corn maze in Indiana.
Queen.
That's so Indiana of her.
Very, very Iowa to Indiana
You think
pipeline.
Caitlin Clark has the frame to like kind of be scary to walk through as a corn maze?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you'd get lost.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've never been in a corn maze, and I don't know like a corn maze designed like a person would be like, but it seems like it'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it seems to be weird, and it seems that a Caitlin Clark corn maze would be difficult. Difficult to get through.
The best of the best.
The best of the
goat.
best.
And it's
Hard
that
to get
Indiana
through.
corn.
Yeah.
Real corn.
Thick corn.
We got a big one. Allen Iverson, known for his style as much as his play. Do we know why he got cornrows?
I do not.
I don't know, Maddie. Tell us why.
Yeah.
Maybe a direct quote, even.
I do have a direct quote prepared from Allen Iverson describing why he got cornrows.
Yep.
I was tired of people fucking my hair up on the road. I was getting haircuts and they was destroying it. So I was like, okay, let me just grow my hair out and get cornrows. Then I don't have to worry about it. That was the only reason I did it. It didn't have nothing to do with me trying to look like a thug. I was just tired of people messing my hair up. Allen Iverson.
AI.
I mean, you can't
The
really
answer.
Monumental cornrows, for sure. Monumental.
And then
Iconic cornrows from
one
him.
last little corn break fact. In hockey, we got a saying going, top corns. Does
Yeah.
anyone know what that is?
Let's
That's
go.
only-
Let's go. Corns being the foot problem.
You listened.
Let's go right on top of the
Fan of the show.
Fan of the show.
Yeah.
Someone knows about corns.
Corn
Skims
reference.
over the boot of the goalie into the goal.
No, top corn's just going top corner.
Oh, bye.
He's the top of the net. Close
There you go.
enough.
There you go.
Yeah, we had to keep it quick for corn break.
Thank you.
We've been yapping, but we
We've
got one
been
more
yapping.
topic to yap about. NFL.
As a Niner fan, it's been kind of as expected. I said in the beginning of the year, Super Bowl hangover will be real. Half our team got hurt. Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey, the
Sad.
MVP, the GOAT, hasn't played this year, and it's been rough.
Yeah.
And I know you think the Niners are a running back factory, but there are times where we miss him. 3rd and long, we can't convert on those.
No.
In the red zone, we cannot convert.
No.
It's been tough.
No.
I'm just talking about from a fantasy perspective. I mean, you put Mason in, you're getting 70 yards minimum each week.
I drafted Jordan Mason the last round of the draft.
Now you got Isaac
Turned out to
Guerrero.
be.
What did he get, 90 yards last night? 9
Yeah.
carries.
Yeah. Might
It's
have
a
to
running
pick
back
him up.
factory.
Yeah. I would say that I don't know. I'd like to hear your point on this. You think Brock Purdy is like a great quarterback?
No.
She's asking me.
Yeah.
not you.
as a 49er fan, like
I think he's the best 49ers quarterback in my lifetime, which
I was
isn't,
about to
it isn't really saying, like,
Much.
who have I seen? Jimmy G? He's
Colin
better than
Kaepernick.
Jimmy G. Colin Kaepernick had a nice 2-year
You
run.
guys had Smith before that?
Yeah, we had Alex Smith, but he wasn't what he was with
When
the
he
Chiefs.
was Alex Smith, yeah.
Yeah, that's not the craziest thing to say.
Yeah, you're right.
We had Sean Hill, Blaine Gabbert,
You got a future MVP.
Brian Hoyer.
I don't
Future
know.
MVP.
I think
Sam Darnold.
Last year, there was a report during training camp that one of the top Niners beat reporters
I saw
said Sam Darnold's like the best thrower of the
Quarterback he's
football
seen.
he's seen in a Niners camp. So maybe he was onto something, but
seems like he was Minnesota.
Brock Purdy, he's not the greatest quarterback, but he's definitely
Admittable.
competent. He's good. He's
And
good
has
enough.
great tools around him.
Every NFL Hall of Fame quarterback is Travis Kelce not like a top 3 tight end of all time?
No, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why aren't we holding him to the same standard?
The interesting
Mahomes?
one is like,
Yeah. He has a top 3 player of his position
he
of
also
all
had
time.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Another. He
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm
voted
saying.
best player in the NFL this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We only want to criticize when it's Brock.
That's not
Well, the one I think it was like everyone said Tom Brady brought up his weapons. I love Tom Brady, but
I don't love Tom Brady.
Gronk, Randy
Yeah,
Moss.
Exactly. Weapons. People have weapons. You gotta have good players around you to succeed.
Yeah,
It's not
if you're gonna be notable,
Aaron
you have to be
Rodgers.
associated with weapons.
Not to
Aaron Rodgers is-
Aaron Rodgers was whining
No.
and complaining his last couple years in Green Bay. 'cause
He
his
had a pretty
receivers
rough
were young.
receiving.
Once
rim.
Devontae left, he was like, "Oh, I don't."
It's
have
pretty hard to
receivers."
rely on Lazard to get you somewhere. But I agree. I agree in the sense that a quarterback will whine and complain the second his weapons are taken from him. And I think what you guys are now 3-3.
Yes.
The 3-3 Niners
First place.
maybe
in the NFC
felt that
West.
a little bit when Purdy's number one weapon, CMC,
Definitely.
didn't come back.
Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion, might be a top 10 running back. That's a little biased because I love CMC, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you take away one of the best running back, he had like one of the best single seasons last year. He scored a touchdown in almost every single game.
Put a little bit of a highlight on what Purdy can actually do.
He's also the last pick in the draft. So why are we expecting him to be Joe Burrow or
It's true.
Yeah.
Josh Allen?
We'll get into some of those former rookie quarterbacks, current rookie quarterbacks, but I want to move back over to Sam Darnold. International games, should we read into them? I have a feeling.
Like, is it different? Like,
yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold all season's been at MVP pace, which is shocking to say. I made that pick as a joke.
Like, literally, every week I've voted for Minnesota's opponent to win because I'm like, they're a scam. Like, this can't be real.
It's gotta come
like,
to an end.
no way. The Minnesota Vikings and the Chiefs are the only undefeated teams in the NFL right now.
But that's the thing. They are undefeated, but you look at that game. Sam Darnold wasn't good, but can we read into it? It was an international game. Was he still dealing with the flight?
Right.
We got another one coming up.
Yeah, that flight to London is not something light at all.
It is from, like, New York area. I hear most of them fly out from, like, New York. It's not the worst, but...
Right.
Minnesota, that's a few more hours.
A few more hours. Should we read into these games? Do you
Not
think
too
they really
deeply.
matter?
Yeah.
Not too deeply. I think any game matters, obviously. There's always outside factors that bring people down, if you will, and maybe influence their performance. And I think grateful the game's being spread internationally, but I'm not looking at an international game as much as I'm looking at a game that's played in Minnesota or wherever else.
I think if it was in Minnesota because they were technically the home team, I think they would have destroyed the Jets, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Just, like, normal circumstances, no travel.
Yeah.
Just feels like a game you win.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then we got a big number of number one receivers down hurt right now.
Oh, my dad's Rams.
Your dad's Rams.
My dad's Rams are feeling the pain.
If you're a fantasy player, like, what do you do in this situation? Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, all down. I have Justin Jefferson and Nico Collins in the same league. My wide receivers look terrible this week.
Terrible.
It's like Jalen Tolbert and George Pickens.
Tolbert? God, the poor Cowboys. Okay, yeah.
Said no one ever.
The wide receivers look, I mean, injuries are inevitable, especially in the NFL. But it's just like, it seems so redundant with especially in LA, with the injuries and the lack of wins because of these injuries, and like the lack of team exploration because they're just relying back and forth on these guys that aren't there. And so I think it's tough. I'm sad to say I'm not in any fantasy leagues. Wanted to be, but
fantasy just adds stress.
Yeah, I will say I basically manage my brother's fantasy team, so
there you go.
That's good. That's fun. But he drafted C.J. Stroud as his number one quarterback, which I guess isn't terrible, but there's just many others you could have gone. Anyways, besides the point, it's tough. It's tough for the wide receivers right now. They are not looking too good, and I think Nacua has the potential to be an incredible receiver. That is a generational name.
It's unfortunate he's on the Rams, but I do agree with that statement.
Nakua's cool. Nakua's fun to watch for sure.
You made me aware of a new podcast.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Do you care to elaborate on?
Tell us more, Maddie.
Yeah, so right before recording was put onto this. I don't even remember how.
Right.
But I just need to give out a free promotion to this iHeartRadio podcast right now. Politicking with Marshawn Lynch, Gavin Newsom, and Lynch's agent, Doug Hendrickson, might be the greatest listen of all time. Pretty much this podcast came to be, I don't even know how. I guess they're friends in the outside world. They're having the craziest names. Like, some names where it's just like, a little controversial. They had a Woody Harrelson episode. Don't know what you're doing there. We had Demi Lovato come on. We had Draymond Green come on.
Yeah, I mean, that was a goal for a lot of podcasts. So getting Draymond on is an achievement, in my opinion.
But the worst part for me is, this is Gavin Newsom's podcast, by the way.
Governor of California.
Governor of California. Coming in with the DraftKings gambling promos ads.
No.
And it's not even just like, it's like Marshawn Lynch's podcast. No. Their promo code is...
It's Gavin reading the ads.
And it's DMG. That's the promo code for Doug, Marshawn, and Gavin. DMG promo code for DraftKings. Get your play in. And
not their ship name being the promo code. Sounds like a new car dealership. Go.
And immediately after, they hit us with the Better Help ad.
Oh,
Like,
man.
they are true podcasters. And the inkling is that Marshawn Lynch is apparently starting a campaign to potentially run for Oakland mayor.
Mayor Beast Mode.
Mayor Beast Mode, as he calls it. Gavin Newsom has apparently supported his campaign in the sense where he thinks he has a chance.
He has like, what was it, like a 43% approval rate?
It was
7%?
a 43% favorable, 7% unfavorable, which Newsom said is amazing, and he's never seen anything like it. He's used to 70% unfavorable for himself.
Maybe Lynch being the mayor of Oakland will bring back some sports fanatics.
I
Like,
think rescue
hopefully, maybe
Oakland.
that's what Gavin's shooting for here.
He was in Berkeley for the Calgoritham.
Cal game day. Can't believe we lost to Miami by 1 point. Don't want to talk about that, but he's one of the most beloved people in the city of Oakland. So.
Crazy.
Now
Love
he's
it.
a podcaster.
Yeah.
King. I love that.
And that's about all we have time for. I'm going to get kicked out of the studio soon, so thank you so much for joining us for Season 4, Episode 8 of Teed Up. Thank you to our video editor and producer, Aiden Swanepoel, and our multimedia producer, Elle Nicklin, and captions by Junior. If you want to stay up to date on the latest Long Beach State sports, check out our website, lbcurrent.com, and follow us on socials at lbcurrent. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here, Gianna.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And see you all later. Big hearts.